Welcome to the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. It's been 6 months now since our international borders reopened to visitors, and now it feels like travelling overseas is becoming more normal again. But it's been a very tough couple of years for the travel and tourism industry, so I wanted to get an update of how things are going. I've spoken a number of times to entrepreneur Adam Schwab, the co-founder and CEO of Luxury Escapes. Adam, welcome back to Fear and Greed.
Thanks, Sean. Great to be here again.
So, how are things going? Last time we spoke, it was opening up. It's now opened up, and when you talk to friends, everyone seems to be going to Bali. That seems to be the most popular spot, but Fiji's popular as well. Hawaii's popular. What's going on?
Yeah, you've actually nailed it pretty well. I know you had Ben Groundwater on the show as well, who gave some insights into some of the flight issues. So it's a mixed bag. So we're trading, as in Luxury Escapes is trading about 50% up on pre-COVID. So
on pre-COVID, wow.
Yeah, but we've got a much bigger staff base now. We invested really heavily during COVID, unlike Qantas, as you talked about. So we had a bigger team at the end of COVID and the beginning of COVID. Now we've got a much bigger team. So we've got a heavier cost base. But so we've certainly seen travel come back. I still feel we're about 30%, 40% below court par. So look at our biggest destinations pre-COVID. Australia remains strong, but because we tend to act as a marketing channel, so we'll sell hotels that might have spare inventory, and Australia's pretty full, as we know, and most hotels aren't at 100% anyway. So there's huge demand, but supply is still tight, especially in Queensland. So Australia's pretty full. Fiji, as you mentioned, is actually pretty full as well. So everything we put up for Fiji goes really well, but they're pretty tight. Singapore, the same, really popular. I was in Sentosa a month ago, and half the Shangri-La was Australian. So super popular Singapore. And then you've got Bali, which is trading really well, but a really balanced market. So Bali's on fire. Australians love going there. Lots of great hotels, and they've got big hotels. So that's actually going pretty well. And then you've got other markets like Malaysia, Vietnam, Hong Kong for other reasons, just obviously not back to pre-COVID yet. And Thailand's getting there. So it's a real mixed bag.
Okay. So what about, how's it worked out? I mean, we have spoken a couple of times, Adam, about cancellation policies and kind of the backlog that you were ending up with. Have people been cleaning that out?
Yeah, definitely. So we gave credits during COVID, and we've been extending them. So because we don't want people to not be able to use their credits. Eventually they have to break, but we sort of extended them 6 months, another 6 months, another month. So we're sort of extending them. And now we're starting to sort of email people and say, we've got one more month. We can't keep extending indefinitely because the hotels get a bit annoyed. So we're starting to see a little bit of breakage, but the vast majority of people are now using credit. So our credit balance is dropping nicely. And yeah, there's a lot of people, there is still a fair degree of nervousness, especially caught 65, 70 plus, who obviously are more at risk, not just COVID, any sort of trying to travel. So they're probably not traveling. I reckon 65 plus is about 50% back. But certainly under 65, there's a lot of hunger for travel, a lot of demand, and whatever we can put up is generally selling really well. So there definitely is demand. Then you've got weigh that against flight costs. I know you talked a lot about Qantas, but really Scott Morrison couldn't have kicked the travel sector in the guts any more than he did. Not only did he shut borders, which in hindsight looked to be a terrible decision. Not only did he shut borders and destroy the industry, he told casual staff to go home, which just decimated the Australian sector. So no one can get staff now because people, once you get told to come home, you don't come back. And to add salt in the wound, because Australia wasn't open, most airlines have said, well, stuff you, we're going to take our planes elsewhere, or we're not going to put them back at all. And you talked about Qantas, but it's really every airline is now profiteering massively. So it costs $5,000 to get to London economy some days. It costs 15 to 20 grand business. So every travel operator is struggling with this, and airlines are booming.
I mean, I've looked at airline costs because I want to travel later in the year, and it is really expensive. What are the tips for people who actually want to travel overseas but just can't? I mean, they may find somewhere through you with like Luxury Escapes, but sometimes getting there is hard.
You're right. It's picking the destination. So the UK's US's are hard. Planes aren't back yet. It's hard. But if you can go to somewhere like Bali, there's still actually pretty good connection. Fiji's got good connection because Air Fiji is really good. So that shorter haul internationals, I would say, the pick of the bunch. Singapore's got now, I looked at SQ, so Singapore Airlines, next year's bringing back 4 flights daily, Melbourne, Sydney, which is, they did 5 pre-COVID. So Singapore's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Dubai's still constricted. Qatar's not too bad. Etihad's coming back. It's the UK, US that's the toughest. If you can go sort of that local Asian market, it's better. And obviously redemption flights is hard. So trying to lock in those sort of economy redemption flights. So 6 months out is probably the go. So what we're telling our customers is just book now for 2023. Now's the time to start booking into January, February, March, April travel, and don't wait till January like you used to. It's just you really need to get in early.
Stay with me, Adam. We'll be back in a minute. My guest this morning is Adam Schwab, co-founder and CEO of Luxury Escapes. Now, I want to talk about Luxury Escapes. You just said that you've increased the number of people working for you during COVID, and given the sector you're in, I think that's pretty extraordinary. What are they all doing? And then what are the plans? Because you did a $90 million capital raise fairly recently with some pretty high-profile investors. What's the idea with the expansion? What are your plans?
So we did a $90 million cap raise, but most of that money went out to shareholders. So that money wasn't really expansion capital because we are essentially profitable now. We don't really need it to expand. But to answer your first question, we've really seen growth in two main areas. One area is contact center. So you talk about the problem Qantas, and really every airline's been having. We have the luxury of being a private business, and we don't have debt. So we didn't have covenants we had to maintain. We didn't have banks we had to answer to. We had to answer to customers essentially. So, but even with us, and even with that luxury, so to speak, we were still struggled the last sort of year of COVID. It's impossible to keep up with. We went from 0.6 to 1.5 communications per sale.
Wow!
So you cannot staff that, but.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding that, we increased the size of our team probably by 50% during COVID. So it was a very heavy, whereas everybody else was sort of cutting their team in half, we increased. So even then, we still couldn't keep up. But the beauty of that is now, sort of call it the COVID panic's over, people aren't changing so much. Our call centre time, if you're looking to buy something, it's pretty much instantaneous. If you're looking to call our customer service, it's between 0 and 5 minutes. And if it's a really busy time, you might get a 20-minute call back. So that investment's now sort of paying back 6 months later because we were able to have the luxury of being a private company and not so much worry about short-term profitability or debt covenants. We could just sort of staff it as we thought we needed it. And the other big area of growth is our tech team. So our tech team's gone from 30 to 120. It's a really big investment, and we're building a heap of stuff out. So I think last time we spoke, we built a marketplace. So we now don't have 50 products on the site. We have 10,000. So if you want to go to London or Dubai or Paris or Johannesburg, we'll have something for you. It's not as big a range as a Booking or an Expedia, but that's what we don't want to be. We want to be a curated site for 4.5 star plus that will get the best products on earth and the best deals on earth. And we're building out a bunch of other marketplaces. So I've got a tours marketplace. You can buy lots of tours online now, hundreds of tours online with our Travel Corp partnership. We're going to bring cruises online, which not many people have. We're going to expand our villas range online. So we're working on a heap of, and we've just launched our experiences platform, which is a bit like Imagine Red Balloon with a bit of a focus on dining and live events.
Okay, so so everything, until this very moment, we've been talking about travel and accommodation, but you are going into, and for those who don't know experiences, those who don't know Red Balloon, it is an experience company. So you go and you purchase, might be a hot air balloon ride, or it might be a massage or something like that. You're pushing into that area. Yeah,
it's really synergistic for what we do. So what we're trying to become is a connected trip travel company. So you can book your entire trip from us. So if you want to go to London, if you think of all the different elements of the trip, you leave your house in Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane or Perth or wherever you are, and you're getting to the airport. We can sell you that transfer. We can sell you your lounge access at the airport for $60, and you can spend 3 hours drinking champagne and having a 3-course meal in the number one lounge, which is what Eddie had used as well. And we can sell you your flight to Singapore. We can sell you 3 days in Singapore. And when you get to Singapore, we want to sell you your restaurant, your meals. We want to see your gardens by the bay or whatever experiences you want to do, all with one swipe. Don't have to enter your credit card details consistently. And we'll also tell you about stuff. So we've built we're releasing in the next couple of weeks, effectively a trip planning tool. So you can put all your items in an itinerary and build your itinerary. So whether you buy it from Luxury Escapes or wherever, be it Airbnb or be it staying with your grandmother or wherever it is, and it all goes in this fantastic Luxury Escapes app. And you can really easily add meals or add business meetings or whatever you're doing, and we'll suggest here's the top 10 things to do in Singapore. One swipe, you can book your time, and it gets added to your trip plan. So we've got a whole team working on effectively creating the ultimate guest experience, having a travel agent in your pocket, essentially.
Yeah, what a great idea. I always spend, when we go overseas, particularly for luxury, let's say business, but luxury, you spend so much time trying to work out, get tickets, buy things, make sure you're not sort of wasting time and all that. And this is sort of a one-stop shop for a lot of that.
Yeah, and I think the advantage we have, and we hopefully will have, is there isn't any platform that sells everything. So Booking.com's got great hotels and Klook's got great experiences and Webjet's got great flights and Airbnb's got great villas, but nobody sells it all other than Luxury Escapes, which will have that plus cruises plus tours. So, and even your theme park tickets and your concerts. So you can buy a Coldplay concert in London if you're there when Coldplay's playing. So because we've got a relationship with tour promoters. So we want to be the sort of complete package. And of course, if you don't want to buy from us, use our trip planning software and buy the entire trip elsewhere. That's completely fine. We're happy to be a record of choice and use the app for that purpose. So that's what we're trying to create, which is that whole connected guest experience, which eventually leads to how do we get check-in to automate? So you walk straight to your room and put your phone against the door and it opens because we're hooked up with a hotel, to ordering room service from your taxi on the way to your Singapore hotel rather than getting to your hotel room and waiting 40 minutes and ordering then. So there's so many bits of the travel experience we want to improve. And we think that's where we can offer a real competitive advantage compared to like a Booking.com, which is a brilliant business, but really focused on the booking process and nothing else.
Adam, I'm in awe of this a bit. That's why you're gone from 30 to 120 technology people, and I dare say you're going to have a lot more too.
I think we'll keep growing the team. And ultimately, we've sort of changed our focus on being just this great travel deals business, which we still have great travel deals, but to becoming just a complete travel experience. And that's what we're really focused on. We think we can do a job really better than anyone in the world because, frankly, a bit like banks, I think Paul Volcker said the last time a bank innovator was inventing the ATM. The last time travel innovated was in 2001 when what we call the OTA, online travel agent, was created. But since then, really nothing has changed. And I think travellers have been pardon the pun, shortchanged in many respects, that the experience, you go to a travel agent, you get a PDF and you print it out and that's it. Or you go to Booking.com and Airbnb and you get 50 different emails and you have to try and piece together, but nobody's actually put it together and put it in your pocket and created a super app. So I think there's a real opportunity to do that. And the team's really excited, and we've been working for sort of 18 months across COVID to create this experience that we've got a new app launching in Australia in about 6 weeks. We've launched it in a few overseas markets and customers love it. So we're pretty excited about what the team have been able to achieve.
Well, good luck with it. I look forward to looking for it and using it. Adam, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Thanks, Sean. Great to be on.
That was Adam Schwab, co-founder and CEO of Luxury Escapes. This is the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, Australia's most popular business podcast. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.